You got an echo there, Mirza. All right, we are live, Mirza.
All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Citi Business Plan Competition, Business Plan Competition. This is our office hour. Section on the phone, and I'm trying to see how I can see the questions. So, Jim, since I cannot see the questions, would you mind just reading them out loud and I'll answer them? Because I tried doing it on my laptop and it doesn't work. Get back on echo
Okay.
feedback.
Well, just to get started, Mirza, Linda White in the event page has posted a whole bunch of questions this morning. So I don't know if you had a chance to look at those at all, but that might be a good place to get started.
Yeah, let me just open that quickly.
So you can look at that on the computer. And then anything that comes in, I'll just relay to you. Mike's out doing some pickup runs. We are supporting VY's New Orleans down here at the Sheraton New Orleans, so he is not available today.
All right, so Linda White asked this question. I live 7 miles outside the town that I live by, that I will be selling to individuals. My plan is to have customers pick up from my location twice a week so I can keep my overhead down. When I did some of my surveys, I asked if they were willing to pick up at my location. I got mostly yes answers because I explained it would be keep the price of the produce lower. These are verbal surveys I do every time I shop in the produce aisle for myself. I will save on a driver to deliver, multi-handling of produce, upkeeping a vehicle. Should I trust this information since the lesson says to discount information by 1.5? Do I need to have a backup to deliver at additional charges in my business plan in the event the target customers was just being too polite to say they would not drive to my rural location? I'm only major 2-lane highway for the county. So this is excellent question and great concern. Since you did in-person questions, and especially the people know you, they're most likely going to tell you to be nice. Yes, that would be fine, but it would be good to do another survey, do an online survey if you can, or have maybe the produce store where you're selling it as the cashier if they would be willing to give a anonymous survey that somebody can fill out and answer it. So rather do one additional survey where you can have them not really look at you but look at the paper and fill it out, and from that when you do the survey try to get at least minimum 50 surveys back, and from that what you would do is you discount. The rule of thumb says if somebody says I would definitely come and pick it up, 20% of them will definitely not come pick it up, so only 80% will definitely come pick up. And if they say I would come and pick up, then only 30% of them will pick up. Because if you do, the scale says definitely yes, yes, maybe, no, and definitely no. So definitely yes is 80% really means it, and yes, only 30% mean it. If you have that scaling of your question. So definitely do one more survey and get that information what it is, and plan. It's good to plan and understand what your cost will be to have that backup, just in case this still comes through that they are willing and able to come pick it up. Just have a backup plan if it doesn't happen, so you don't waste 2 or 3 months. You can implement that plan B immediately. Also, question Linda asked, how do you get a focus group started in the rural community? I'm a startup and there are no marketing companies where I live. I prefer to ask questions since I feel I know my business better and can ask needed follow-up questions. How do you get focus group? Well, you first have to know approximately who your customers will be. Try to identify them and then invite them to focus group. It could be 4 to 8 people. Incentivize them. You can offer, if you have produce, offer them a couple pounds of your freshest organic potatoes or something like that if they come and do it. So they have to have incentive. It's always good to have one more person when you do the focus group. So have somebody who's gonna ask the question and have somebody who's gonna write down the notes and observe the reactions of your participants. Maybe even have somebody ask the questions and be in the room because you are very passionate about your products or services. And if the customers don't like it, you might get offensive, and you don't want to do it. You want to keep neutral. You just want to be a facilitator of a conversation and really observe and listen what the participants have to say and how they're saying it actually. Then next question, Linda also has, how long should I keep my marketing research to back my business plan since the market is constantly changing? How long should I keep marketing research? So the marketing research or market research, you never stop doing. You continue doing your market research even when you start your business. For now, you're really researching the market to find out who your customers are, how they buy, why did they buy, how often did they buy, who are the decision makers, and so on. This will help you set up your company. This will help develop and fine-tune your products or services. And then once you start selling, you continuously want to get feedback from your customers, both existing customers, but also if you have customers who are left, you want to find out why they leave you. And also if you have potential customers that have inquired about your products and services, but they never really purchased, you also want to find out why they didn't. So you have to continuously do your market research, evaluation, get customer feedback, which will help you continuously improve, but also identify new opportunities where you can add potentially new products or services, or both actually, to keep your company or help your company grow. But for the business purposes now, it's really the goal is to segment your market and find out who is willing and able to buy products, and to use that to develop the rest of your plan, to position yourself to be in the place to address the needs of that specific market segment. Another question by Linda, since I do a lot of verbal, which I take notes on when I leave target customers, do I need to do a paper survey? So how do I go about getting permission at our 2 grocery stores to do the paper survey? I do not intend to sell my produce to the grocery stores at this time. They are listed in my business plan as competition. They currently buy hydroponic lettuce from Hydroponic Grow in Missouri. I would use this opportunity, Linda, to talk to the grocery stores to find out how much they pay to the guy in Missouri, or the businesses in Missouri, how much the quantities are, how much they're looking. This is potentially your market, and it's easy actually to sell to a distribution center because it's only one customer than to sell to 100 other people. So this is maybe foot in the door. You can say, okay, explain to them, tell them your story, what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, talk to the general manager at the store, or the store owner. I don't know how big those grocery stores are, and talk what they have, and explain to them what you're trying to achieve, and that you're looking for them to be a potential distribution channel. That way they don't see you as a competitor. Even though they're a competitor, you should not see them as a competitor that you kind of have to hide everything from them. See how you can be more a collaborative competitor, because there's win-win for both of you. So if you can create a marketing campaign, help them create a marketing campaign that they as a grocery store are selling fresh, local. A lot of Americans these days are inclined to buy or want to buy more locally grown fresh food. So I don't know where you're located, but it comes from 3-4 different states, or has to travel 24 hours to come grocery store versus you picked it up in the morning and it's at 9 a.m. already on the shelves. There's a big difference. So start a conversation with your grocery store, and then explain to them that you're trying to really produce the best product that's out there, that you like to do a survey. Share the survey with them and ask them if it's okay that they help you do the survey, because there will be also benefit for them. So just make sure that you also elaborate and explain to them that there will be benefit if you collaborate, that they will benefit from this as well. And then you can maybe also share some of the information from the survey. That way you get access to the customers immediately, and that's a great access to data. The verbal surveys, another question that Linda has. The verbal surveys I have done have resulted in women wanting to be notified when ready to say contact info without asking for it. Can I count on these possible sales, or should I reduce my numbers to be safe? I need to have customers ready because of the low shelf life of produce. Should I overbook my sales and risk not having enough produce? A practical advice is, you do your produce, you know when the produce will be ready. So if you plant now, you'll know in 4 months you'll be harvesting. Maybe good thing would be to in let's say 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it's reasonable. You should know what's reasonable. Reach out to these individuals that have given you contact. Say, hey, we met. make sure to maintain the contact with them. So what you can do now is send a newsletter or create a Facebook site or something like that, or an email to everybody. Say, hey, I just planted my produce, and 4 months it will be fresh. Sign up if you want now, and then follow up on a monthly basis, and then maybe 4 weeks before you want to harvest, do it on a weekly basis so you can get orders already in. That way you don't have to worry about sales. They will come in, that they can pre-order. That way it's guaranteed sales. You can deliver it. The harvest takes place. So that's one way how you can approach this. I hope it's helpful.
We
So
had a
that's
couple. We had a
the
couple.
questions she had so far. Anybody else?
Yep. So we had a couple come in, Mirza. First one is from Gary Bao. He says, for surveys, are websites like instapage.com useful for online surveys? Are there any others for online surveys?
Yes, you can use these. I know that a lot of students here use SurveyMonkey. I believe you can get 10 survey questions for free. So all these services are good. Depends what you're looking to get out of it. And sometimes if you have a in-depth, advanced survey, it's also okay to pay 20, 30, 40 bucks to get, because they also help you do analysis of the survey as well.
And Lori Reed had a question. She says, my business is working with adolescents charged with domestic violence against their parent or caregiver. I'm a for-profit company. We conduct training on this topic, developing a curriculum and parent coaching. My concern is sustainability of the program while looking at potential revenue options. For the pitch, would it be best to focus on a selection of the company to allocate that funding?
So for the pitch, you as a target customer, you want to identify what those companies will be. And then if you're already working with 1 or 2 or 3 companies, make sure to identify those companies that you already work with them. It gives you credibility that, yes, I understand who my market is, and my market research was correct because I'm actually working with 2 or 3 of these companies, and I have leveraged that contact or that collaboration with these companies to further fine-tune my market. And based on my interaction with these companies, I now understand how these companies buy products or buy services that I'm offering. So that gives you more credibility, quoting specific companies and stating that you're working with them. Because if you're already working with them, you did something correct. So you want to leverage that, and most probably, if it works for company A, B, and C, most likely other 10, 20 companies will have the same procedure in terms of how they make decisions, purchasing decisions.
Okay, and another one from Matt Brady says, I'm trying to determine the market size for job seekers. The difficulty is not all unemployed are recorded in unemployment numbers. Also, I need to consider job switchers that find new jobs before being recorded as unemployed. Any advice for what metrics to use and what sources to use?
All right, so you can use of course, the Department of Labor statistics to say, okay, this is the unemployment data that people are looking for jobs. But you can also, there's a lot of reports that you can find, even public and also governmental reports, saying that if you read an article in the New York Times, it says that about human resources, specifically about human resources, that on average 20% of employed population in the US is always looking to switch positions or looking for a new job. So if you know, let's say, for example, there's 100 million people in the US that are employed, 20% are looking for new jobs. So 20 million is actually that market that's looking for new job. So use reliable resources, credible resources, and make sure that whatever metrics you use, back it up and explain what resources you use and how you have derived that information.
And Matt's actually in here live with us. Matt, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, that's a pretty good answer. Thank you. Well, I guess I'll just take a second to ask another question. I'm having a difficult time determining conversion costs. I can't find a direct comparison of another industry for what I'm doing. I'm essentially helping job seekers with their online presence, so helping them with their social media, building personal websites to sell their own brand. But yeah, I'm just having trouble figuring out how much it's going to cost to acquire a customer.
That's you can look at companies such as. Are you familiar with brandyourself.com?
No, I'm not.
So look at the company Brand Yourself. They have some public information out there. So again, you have to be, if you cannot find industry comparison, you have to be innovative on that. Do your own research and put yourself in position of a customer. What points, what do they have to go through, and what do we have to do in order to create awareness for them that you exist, and not only create awareness, but what promotions you have to make so they will use your products or services. There's this term called AIDA, A-I-D-A. So Google AIDA and then marketing. It shows you the marketing, the buying process of a customer. A stands for awareness, interest. I stands for interest. D stands for desire, and A stands for action. So and each customer has different buying process for different products. So you wanna be aware of really how long does it take a customer to buy products or services such as yours, and how do you create awareness about your product? How do you create interest within the customer to use your services? How do you create desire for them? Yes, I want the service, and then what is the last thing you have to do so they can take the action and use your service? And once you figure that out, then you can figure out, okay, these are all the marketing tools I have to implement, and then you can figure out what the cost will be.
Okay, great, thank you.
Jim, any other questions online?
Yep, there is. That website again, that was what was, Lori Reed asked, what was that website again? I'll put it in the chat.
Which website?
Yeah, sorry, I was getting other questions and I wasn't paying attention. So the one that you gave Matt, she says.
Oh, it's not the website. I told him to Google AIDA marketing.
Okay, thanks. We have
AIDA and then space marketing. Google it and you can learn. There's comprehensive websites that explain what the buying process, how it works, and what you have to do in order to understand your customers' buying behavior.
Great, thanks. We had two questions from Mara Herwit. She says, first one is, my business will offer a package of local pet services to employers as a new employee perk, basically an innovative benefit for recruiting/retaining employees. Should I analyze this as two markets, companies who would buy this package and the local providers?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yep. My business will offer a package of local pet services to employers as a new employee perk, basically an innovative benefit for recruiting/retaining employees. Should I analyze this as two markets, companies who would buy this package and the local providers?
Well, you have to understand your local providers. Yeah, you want to understand. You should do research on both of them and analyze both of them, see how they work and how you can merge those two together. If I understand, but
Yeah,
yes,
actually, her second question tackles that as well. It says, regarding my first question, I would have to contract with the local pet services providers and convince them why we would be an attractive opportunity for them. Doesn't that make them my customers as well?
Definitely yes. Yes.
Okay.
They make your customers, so they would be the distribution or the sales arm of your products or services, while the end users would be the companies. So definitely have two markets that you want to understand how they buy and how often they buy, and be able to go in and tell them what the value is that your firm is offering to them. Great questions.
Another one from Cheryl Malone. She says, the veteran transitional assistance market has become more competitive. A lot more businesses and agencies have started since 2012. In addition to finding another niche, refining my brand, and doing my research, what other suggestions would you have?
What other suggestion is really start doing small deliverables, start doing small things, partner up with other reputable organizations. It will give you credibility if you work with somebody who's reputable, and start creating also reputation, not only brand, but also reputation through work that you do. So start with minor things, show that you're consistent, that you have consistent quality, and the partnership. So do some research, see who in your field is doing some great and amazing work. And even if you look at the grants, the funders, they all look today at collaboration. So collaboration is the key. Focus on your strengths and see how you can contribute with these strengths to other organizations that are in the same field. And Jim, let's take one more question because we have to have another 12:30 appointment, and we can continue on Monday with office hours.
Okay, yeah, there's one more from Linda White. She says, I want to grow my business slow, and I'm concerned with working with a grocery store because my greenhouse is only 1,500 square feet. Not sure I can meet the demands of even one grocery store. I like what you said about the grocery store and the benefits. Should I change my target market to one grocery store until I expand my business and explain I am a startup? I don't want to get a negative reputation if I am unable to meet store requirements.
Linda, that's excellent question, and you're right on point. So I forgot to say, and thanks for following up on that. When you go and talk to grocery store, be open and honest about what you have. So be open about and honest about your capability and capacity. So if you only can produce, let's say, 1 ton of lettuce in each month, let them know this is maximum I can do. Is there anything? Do you see we can collaborate? And if they say no, that's perfectly fine. You can let them know I'll be working on this. So maybe I'll come back in 3 years. But it's okay to collaborate with them, especially if it's a smaller grocery store. And if you're talking to an entrepreneur, most likely that person will help you with the market research, will help you to come to a point where you can work with them, especially if it's somebody who does care about local business, who does also see a benefit in produce such yours. So be open, let them know about you. My advice is don't overpromise, let them underpromise. It's gonna make them delightful, and be help deliver all the times you've done so far. They'll know communication that. So that's an excellent question, and you don't have to start immediately selling to groceries. You can make it, as you said, you want to start slow. You can get in phase A is I'm gonna sell to 100 loyal customers. Phase B is I'm gonna open another greenhouse and sell to another 200. And then phase 3, in year 3 or year 4 or 5 of my business, I want to go into one grocery store, and by year 10, I want to have 20 greenhouses and sell to one chain, for example. So it's up to you really how ambitious you are and how fast you want to grow, or how fast you can grow based on your abilities, on your availabilities, your time, your life, your family, and everything else. So all these things, all these variables play a role that you have to also take in consideration. So just be honest with yourself, be realistic, and same thing is be honest with those grocery stores that you're going to in terms of how you can deliver, how much you can deliver, what the realistic expectations they can have from you, or what you can meet. And if you cannot, you can at least what you have to have in place, so you can go to grocery store. And that you can, once you start selling to your local customers, then you can start planning on, okay, let me build this infrastructure so I can come to the grocery store in 2 or 3 years. I want to thank you all for all great questions. Please save them. We can still address these questions on Monday. I have another appointment coming up at 12:30. So
actually, just to interrupt quickly, Mirza, it's going to be Wednesday. There's no office hours on Monday.
Oh yeah, it's holiday. Okay, happy holiday to everybody, and I'll talk to you on Wednesday then.
Thanks again, Mirza.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.